Like to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Reverend, thank you. I'd like to, commissioners, join me up front. We'll do a proclamation designating Mental Health Month. Accept this along with this proclamation. Okay. So this is a proclamation for a Mental Health Month. Whereas organizations across the country observe Mental Health Month every May to raise awareness and understanding of mental health issues. And whereas mental health is essential to everyone's overall health and well-being. And whereas mental health illnesses, are real and prevalent in our nation, and half of us will have a mental health diagnosis at some point in our lives. And whereas all Americans experience times of difficulty and stress in their lives and should feel comfortable in seeking help and support in managing these times. And whereas early diagnosis and treatment of mental health problems can help children reach their full potential, assure young adults attain academic, employment, and social success, and allow adults to live full and productive lives in their community. And whereas community-based services that respond to youth, adult, and family needs are cost-effective and beneficial to the community, leading to positive outcomes and saving lives and dollars. And whereas it is important that we recognize that preventing mental health problems and treating mental health illness is necessary to maintain a healthy community where all its residents can thrive. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Clermont County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim the month of May 2017 as Mental Health Month in Clermont County. And we call upon Clermont County citizens, government agencies, public and private institutions, businesses, and schools to make a commitment to increase awareness and understanding of the importance of mental health, especially for children and their families, the need for appropriate and accessible mental health services, and the availability of current mental health resources. Signed by the Board of County Commissioners, myself, Commissioner Painter, and Commissioner Humphrey. So, Leanne Watson, Dr. Watson.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank
You
you.
have a few things to say.
I'll just say a couple of things. Thank you very much for acknowledging Mental Health Month. As the Commissioner said, mental health really is vital to our overall health. And it really is important that we remember that and recognize some signs that could be examples of a mental health issue. And I also wanted to remind everyone that help is available, and it's available 24/7 with our crisis hotline in the county, which is 528-SAVE. So thank you.
You know, Leanne, I was thinking earlier when you talk mental health, and people use the term lightly, but I think we all at times suffer from mental health, and that's where the term, we have a mental health day.
Right.
We take it lightly, but in reality, we all need times to kind of regroup, and
Exactly.
the fact that it's we all share some of that. So
Yes, thank you.
yeah, let's do that. There's text in there. I wasn't making all that up.
Okay.
That's always really long.
1, 2, 3, and one more. 1, 2, 3. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
There's really text in there, I didn't make it up.
Thank you.
That'd have been a lot to make out.
I'm not that good at it. Now, Chris Smith could get away
do
with
that?
that. He could just improvise and keep everybody
You're welcome.
amazed. Speaking of which, we've got a guest today. Chris Smith is here from Venice, Florida, a former Clermont County Pacesetter Award winner, CVB director. What else? Clermont County, we worked in economic development and the Chamber of Commerce and
Board of Trustees.
Library Board of Trustees.
Thank you. Appreciate being here.
Yeah.
Opportunity to catch up with all the wonderful projects that were initiated some time back and are coming to fruition.
Do you want to start the day with a joke or a pun or something? I know you've always got something that, when Chris worked for us, he worked for my private business for years, but we used to limit him to 4 or 3 puns a day because we got tired of them. But they just roll off the tip of his tongue. It's like, all right, you've done to 3, that's it. So,
Chris worked for the county as Economic Development Director for quite a while.
Years as well.
Yep.
Are you just enjoying retirement in Venice?
I am indeed. I was telling Ed, my only political connection now is serving on the board of our co-op. So you put residents in close proximity on a little peninsula down there on the intercoastal, and the issues become even more contentious, even though it's a smaller group. And close proximity, there's challenges. We're dealing with some infrastructure issues because the land that we sit upon, the 17 acres, are all filled that was put there at the construction of the canal system back in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Corps of Engineers would probably not allow that sort of development now, but it allowed residential developers to put a lot of homes along the water and with access to develop at the time.
Good to have you.
Thank you.
yeah. The next, we're going to have a presentation by Greg Peoples. Greg, thanks for coming in. We're going to get an update on the Community Alternative Sentencing Center and recovery initiatives in Clermont County. So,
Morning.
Morning.
Thank you for having me. I guess first of all, I just want to say thank you. We're getting ready to contract for our second part of our renewal for our contract for CASC right now. So we appreciate the opportunity to serve the community. It's been a good experience for us working with the county. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. For those of you who don't know, CASC stands for Community Alternative Sentencing Center. That is our program located in the Clermont County Jail. There's 25 beds. Length of stay is anywhere from 5 days to 90 days. We started operating in September of 2015. So I do have a handout, just some overview stuff, and we can talk about whatever you'd like. I think to date we've had 343 admissions, so we've been very busy. That's a good and bad thing, I guess. Our average census is around 20, and that has bearing because when you think about one of the goals of our program is to be less expensive for the county. I think that break-even number for us is about 16 folks in there. So as long as we have above 16, the county is doing financially okay with there. So our average to date is 20. There was a period, about 40 straight days back in late last year, that we were well over, and we just kind of rode the tide there for a while. We didn't have any concerns over that. We did go over our number. There are beds already there. We were able to handle that with our current setting, but that did help our average. If you look at the daily cost, and this is something that Tom Eigel put into our daily census, it kind of shows every day kind of where we're doing financially. For the calendar year 2016, we were about $64 a day, and just to give a comparison, I don't know exact numbers, but jail is in the lower 70s, so you're making some money at that point for 2016. 2017, since our census has been up on average so far this year, that number drops down a little more for the expense for the county. So we're doing pretty well with that. Overall, what I've seen from our discharges to date, success rate is about 86%. Now that means 86% of the folks that have come into the program have successfully completed. So that's a decent rate for us. And we're also showing, we put out an annual report, our first annual report, we haven't done a second one yet, that we're looking at recidivism rates. Currently right now we're adjusting how we're looking at recidivism, so we'll have a good number for you on the next report that comes out. We're going to do a 1 year pre coming into CASC and 1 year post to see how well folks did, how many arrests they had prior and how many arrests they had since coming through CASC. So in the next year or so, we should have good numbers on how we're doing with keeping folks out of the system in general.
I think even in the first year study, the recidivism rate may not be what you want, but it's still lower than the general population in the jail. So that is positive in
We
itself.
did do a quick look at the first cohort that went through. We followed them 6 months out after getting out of CASC, and 80% of those, it was above 80, it was like 83% of those folks stayed out of the system altogether. So that was good, not where we want it. We want it higher, but hopefully in the next go round we'll have better numbers for you on recidivism.
In CASC is a voluntary program. I mean, that is a collaboration between the judges and the actual offender as to their ability to opt for CASC. So they do have some stake in the game. Their decision-making process is, I want this help. So
That's a good point, and I think for us, if you look on the back, some of the growth areas that I think we're looking at is the number of folks that actually choose not to come to CASC when they have it as an option, and trying to figure out, we do surveys when folks leave, like, and folks that say no to us, like, why did you not want the program? What's the concern there? So we're trying to address some of that. So those are some of the areas we're trying to improve on. So some of the strengths I think we've had, and again, this is the stuff I have. I'll go in any direction you guys would like this to cover. But I do believe our collaboration with the court system and the probation department has been very positive. We have just about daily contact with the probation department, and we have an operational meeting that was once a month that we've now decreased to once every other month just because things have been running smoothly. So that's been very positive. I believe our assessment team is very skilled, and we, again, just the close relationship we have with probation, we're picking and we're doing good assessments here, working well with the courts to get those done as quickly as we can. We've made some adjustments when census went down to make those happen quicker, on the spot if needed. And so that's improved census at the time when census dropped. So I think trying to be flexible there. I do think a strength for us is our programming. We have a lot of programming. I think that it's on purpose. We want to keep folks busy. I think part of, for us, security is keeping folks busy. There's at least 5 groups every day. Sometimes there's more depending on the day. And then we have some outside groups that come in, AA, NA, Smart Recovery, Celebrate Recovery. So those groups come in from the outside so they have some connection to the community. So once they leave, they can continue some of those connections. So that's been very positive. We have added some individual counseling. We had minimal to start, but we've adjusted some of our staffing to be able to provide some more individual counseling because, again, part of the surveys that people were asking is we want more time individually with folks because everything's done on a group basis there. You know, you're with 25 of your closest friends, so sometimes they want some time to themselves. I mentioned natural community supports we're bringing in. We added peer recovery coaches this year. So these are folks that are in recovery themselves. They're making connection with folks while they're in the CASC program and helping them adjust to the community if needed. That if that's housing, if that's taken to AA meetings, whatever it is that they need to do, we're helping with that. We're pretty excited about our employment services. In our original grant, we had a half-time position that's covered through county services, but the board saw that this was a positive program that we're providing, so they've provided some additional funding. So our vocational person is now full-time. And we have a vocational program at our Batavia location, so we don't have to do a separate assessment. We can just continue with the same person while they're in the community to help them get jobs. So that's been a very positive experience for us. I think the last strength I had listed was our medication-assisted treatment program. We had debated early if we should bring this into the program, and it's honestly been a very good addition. I think that pretty regularly these folks get on our medication-assisted treatment very, very smoothly, and we try to get it towards the end of their stay, so they're at least get that first injection if they're on Vivitrol, or get stable on the buprenorphine prior to leaving, and then it's a smooth transition to our Vivitrol.
Greg, I'm assuming that is 100% picked up if they're qualified through Medicaid or who, because I know David Painter was saying it was expensive.
It is expensive. Medicaid does cover it, and honestly, our local board has funded it well enough that no one who needs medication-assisted treatment will go without. So honestly, that's not a problem right now. It's our issue in the past has been having enough doctor time. I mean, we've went from just about 2 years ago to currently about 180 clients on buprenorphine to over 400 now. It's about 420. And Vivitrol was one thing that we were struggling to get enough folks on. And honestly, the CAS program has been our catalyst for this. One of the problems with Vivitrol is you have to be sober for 14 days. So sobriety in the community is sometimes difficult. CAS has allowed us to know that these folks are sober. And we now, I mean, in the last, probably prior to this year, we had probably 5 folks on Vivitrol. In this fiscal year, we've added additional 20. So we've definitely increased the numbers, and the majority of those folks are coming directly from CASC. So that's been a positive for us. Some of the growth areas that I wanted to talk about is medical. We don't have enough doctor time or nurse time to give a huge amount of time to the program. We do have nurses on site at least 3 days. But again, coordinating with the community, primary care has always been a concern for us. And hopefully, I mean, we haven't had any major problems, but occasionally, some of the times when folks get denied, there's a complicated medical issue that we don't feel we can handle. We've worked with probation on that. Sometimes we get those settled before they come in. Sometimes we just don't feel we can handle. But again, I think if there's an area we can improve on, medical area is probably one of them. The only other thing that I mentioned was short-term clients. I mean, when you have folks that come in 5 days versus folks that are there for 90 days, sometimes integrating someone that's there for just 5 days is difficult. It takes a few days to get settled and get into the routine, and by the time they're settled in, they're leaving. So I'm not sure how much impact we're having on the short-term folks. Our biggest goal with those folks is to connect them. We have them. We have an audience. Here we are. We're here to support you. We have an office, in Batavia, so come find us then. I mean, that's kind of our goal, is to connect.
You say short term, I thought you had to do at least 30, is that correct?
Nope, 5 days on the OVI. So it's not a huge number, but we do have a good number of folks coming in at 5, 10, 20 days.
Okay.
I know that the judges like to see the longer term. I think our average is and I didn't look that one up, it's somewhere between 30 and 45 days. So we do get the majority of the folks at 30 days or over.
But there's a real benefit to that too, is that a lot of those people get those tools for the first time.
Absolutely.
And even if they get the tools to work with in the first 5 days and then they have the exit program, even though they may choose not to use those tools will become very, very helpful to them maybe some way down the road. That
I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's important for us to make connections to folks. I think when we hear surveys from the guys coming out, the guys that are there long term don't like the short termers. They kind of
Right.
they're out of their routine. They got to retrain folks, that sort of thing. So,
Those are you're doing something right if that's the
Right.
case.
Absolutely. Let's see. I think that was the majority of information I had about the program itself. We have adjusted some staffing internally. It really had nothing to do with financial stuff, just to try to get some more group hours and individual hours, but that's just kind of operationally just switching things around. So overall, we're pretty happy with where things are at, and I think most of the judges have expressed their pleasure with kind of the way things are going, and so we're pretty happy.
Well, Greg, I can't wait to see the second year's report, or your second report. I know the first one, it obviously shows that, it's reducing the jail population. It's a lower daily rate, as well as it's helping these individuals getting back into society and lead a better life. So that's good for society as well. So I think it's a positive all the way around. In fact, Commissioner Humphrey, I should think that with the second report comes out, we should notify, because at this point, I believe we're the only county in Ohio of the 88 that has a CASC. We should maybe send this report out through CCAO and let other commissioners, even maybe Greg could,
Sure.
or a few of us could do a report or something. We've done that before, I believe, at CCAO, but now that we've got some experience under our belt, it'd be nice to get that knowledge out there.
Sounds good. We have had at least, I don't know how many tours have we had, 6, 7 different tours, different counties coming through. So the word is out there somewhat, and would be more than happy to assist with that in any way. So
before you go, just wrap a circle around the CAS program. A lot of people, they hear the CAS acronym and find out what that is, but just talk a moment about the other support programs that kind of surround CASC. We have CASC and we have CRC, and I know you have an upcoming facility that is out there right now being considered. So
Yeah, so Clermont Recovery Center, for those who don't know, Greater Cincinnati Behavioral Health Services merged with Clermont Recovery Center and LifePoint. So if you hear me say CRC or GCB, it's all the same company. We do have our main office that we do outpatient services here in Clermont County. We have 25 clinicians there. We offer traditional outpatient services, which are groups and individuals. Intensive outpatient services can be up to 9 hours a week of group. We offer adolescent services, a task program that works with folks coming through municipal court, or excuse me, common pleas court. And let's see, we also, one thing I wanted to mention is we started a new team this year, our recovery coaches team, which they're called the outreach team. There's 6 individuals, though, all in recovery. I mentioned them for a minute on our CASC when I was talking about CASC, but this team's been very unique for us. And thank you to the local board who has supported that. These individuals have been awesome. Our goal, we know with addictions, a lot of folks don't make it to the door. Like they have overdose, they either go to the hospital or refuse, and they never make it to our door. Traditionally, we've waited for folks to come to the door. What our outreach team has done is reach out to these folks. We recently started with this team, a quick response team. So with Union Township EMS, when they go on a overdose run, we are following up with any individuals that have overdosed. So again, trying to make connection to folks and pull them into services. We'll see them at their home. We'll do an assessment in their home if they're willing, whatever we can to get them to come to services. So that's one unique thing we've done. With that same team, we've worked with Mercy Clermont to provide a connection between the hospital and the community. So, if there's an overdose that somebody comes into the hospital's calling us and we're connecting them before they get discharged. So again, the goal is to connect with them before they get back out in the community. But we also have worked with Mercy on a detoxification protocol. So if someone needs to be detoxed off of heroin, that we can work and do a same-day admission to Mercy as long as we have services coordinated on the far end. So those are some unique, I think, services to Clermont County. You can't really get anywhere in Hamilton County on a same-day basis for detox services, unless you're a paying customer, I guess. So a couple of the things we're doing is we are starting a recovery house in Pierce Township. So I don't know if folks are familiar with the recovery housing community, but this is an individual that folks live, it's a house that folks live in community. These are all folks that are in recovery. They have to be, we're not taking folks straight from detox to this recovery house. These are folks that have been through treatment. And they can live there. It's permanent housing. They can live there as long as they want. Traditional recovery housing, people stay about 18 months. It's a house, but it's a small house. So, the idea is that you don't want to stay there forever. You want to move on. But there's a lot of folks that come through our door that one of the issues they have with getting sober is their environment. So kind of getting them out of whatever environment they're in and giving a supportive, sober environment to help them get through that time till they get a job, financially stable and emotionally stable to be able to get in their own place. So that should open soon. I do have some, I passed out an information packet on we're having some informational forums in the community at Clough Pike Baptist Church. Kind of the reason we're doing it with Clough Pike Baptist is because they approached us offering some assistance. Our house is not that big to have a forum in the house. Probably wouldn't be, just wouldn't be very. We just don't have enough space. So the church offered to do that. So we might do some more in Pierce Township. And at some point, we're going to have an open house at the recovery house itself. It's on Merwin 10 Mile, about 100 yards from Route 125. So, questions about that?
A couple of comments. One of the biggest thing I see of CASC is to stop the recidivism, to get people better, get them medically in the right frame. And the quick response team, I'd love to see that expand throughout the county. It's really concerning that it's only in one township and we need it throughout the county. That's the way the county is going to. I understand that idea, and I think it helps and is a great benefit, but we have people that are overdosing other than in Union Township. So we need to work on all those, I think. And I don't know how we do that, but we need to expand that throughout the county.
I agree with you. I think that Leanne and I have talked about this a lot. Our current team that we have is a grant fund through Interact for Health, and it's limited on the amount. I think that we will expand with this year into at least one more township. We've talked to Felicity and Pierce briefly about doing it. So yes, we have plans to do that. I think we just got to plan it and see what all comes into play.
I haven't seen the numbers on the overdose deaths or the overdoses in general by township to know where our next target would be, but it'd be good to be able to look at that and figure out where our next target should be
Absolutely.
based on need.
That is a good point. I think that Felicity reached out to us when they had how many overdoses they had in so a real short time period. They had a lot of overdoses. So we're actually meeting with their EMS department, doing some training. We did a Narcan distribution there. So actually at the opiate task force meeting, is that this week? On Thursday, we're doing a Narcan demonstration. So we'll be handing out kits if folks want to be there for that.
So Greg, other than the training, is there a cost to do this quick response at a township level? I mean, obviously-
It's just manpower. And it's just a matter of, our outreach team is pretty busy. And I think.
manpower on your side to train.
Yeah,
Okay.
and, honestly, there's a cost, I guess, to each of the townships having to get a medic who's willing and can train on the process. And, it takes, currently in Union, we're going out on Mondays and Thursdays, and it's about a 3 or 4 hour time period each time. And then in between, we're also following up with individuals that are willing to meet with us. So it is a time commitment from the county, from the medics about, I guess that's, I don't know how much financial that is on their side. On us, it's simply manpower. So, there's no cost to us outside of that.
So Leanne, I think Dr. Kahn is on your board, opiate task force board, but I think he's very receptive to all this, and he's medical director for like 3 or 4 townships, right? So I don't know if we've gotten him involved, but it seems like that's the logical step, especially for Felicity, if that's the next.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
We'll do that. We just have to look for more funding to get more staff to be able to go out, because the 6 that we have now are already so overwhelmed with the responses we've had in the community.
The 6 you have now are volunteers, aren't they?
No, they're paid staff.
Okay.
So 2 of them are part-time, so it's 5 FTEs. Now, we have multiple programs that team supports. The quick response team is one of those positions, paid for. Now, we shift all of our staff through there just because it's, it's time-consuming getting out there. And, we've had, I should have looked up those numbers, how many folks we've had. I think we've had 30 connections to folks with through our quick response team, and our numbers are astronomical of those folks that are connected to us. If we're meeting with them, it's like 95% of them are coming in to do an assessment. So, we're seeing that as an extreme positive, that, these are folks that would never have made it to our door. So we're actually connecting to folks that we haven't been able to connect to in the past, and I'm excited about that. Long-term, we're not sure, since we started January 5th, so we're still relatively new at this. But our numbers have been, they go up and down, but my worry is if we expand it too fast, too quickly, we won't be able to meet the demand. And part of what we want to do is make sure if we're going to somebody's house, that we're willing to follow up or have the ability to follow up. We don't want to leave anyone in a lurch. Yeah. So I agree with you. It's on our agenda all the time about what other counties are interested, or what other communities are interested in, how can we get that to work. So,
And Leanne, with, not to put you on the spot or anything, but with everything that's being done in Clermont County, I don't know if you can just speak right off the top of your head, but I think you can get pretty close to numbers. 2016 overdose deaths versus what we've experienced in 2017 so far?
Last I talked to the coroner's office, we'd only had 1. So and in 2016, we ended up at about 83, I think it was. 2015, we were at 94. So I think that we're starting to see that our Narcan getting out there, our first responders carrying Narcan, our Project Dawn, where we're getting that to the community. we're starting to see that that's making an impact. And thank the Lord that that's happening.
We're up over 1,000 Narcan kits handed out in Clermont County. And we actually have trained our outreach team to be able to hand those out themselves. So when they go on a run, on a quick response run, and they go into somebody's home, they can train the parent or the individual or a girlfriend, whoever it might be. So when they're in the community, they're able to hand those out. So we have another method of getting those out quickly. That just started, so that's cool for us.
And we still are seeing the ODs, we're just not, the deaths seem to be going down. Hopefully that's a trend that continues.
Well, we're seeing it's a group effort. I mean, there's multiple agencies, and it's the county, so keep it up. And fortunately, we got people like Dr. Watson and Greg Peoples. Thank you very much for the presentation today, and we'll look forward to, when's the next report come out?
I don't know, Tom, when's that? I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
Okay.
We got the last one out about October, November.
So it'll be,
Yeah, so we're looking at late fall, early winter.
okay, all right, good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, gentlemen, in front of us, we have the consent agenda from the regular session, May 10th. We received this last week, and I think we've all looked at it. If there's anything in particular you'd like to pull out and discuss at a later point, we can. However, if not, I'll accept a motion to approve the consent agenda as listed.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Humphrey,
Aye.
Mr. Painter,
Yes.
Mr. Hubel,
Yes. And moving over to page 5 of the agenda today, we've got the non-consent agenda. The first item is Resolution 62-17 to pay our bills in the amount of $1,671,212.36. Can we get a motion to pay our bills?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Painter,
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey,
Aye.
Mr. Hubel,
Yes. And item 12.
Oh, is Mr. Chris, you can handle that?
Yes.
Thank you.
Chris, what's your last name? Sorry.
It's Brian Christ.
Brian Christ.
Brian.
Oh, Mr. Christ, okay.
Recommendation of Brandon Hepner, Director, with the concurrence of Stephen H. Rabel, County Administrator, to execute a memorandum of understanding for data sharing by and between the Board of County Commissioners of Clermont County, Ohio, on behalf of Clermont County Sheriff's Office and Greater Cincinnati Behavioral Health Services to facilitate the collection, analysis, and sharing of data in order to streamline the process for determining individuals with health issues who are incarcerated in the Clermont County Jail, whereby the jail shares booking and release information with Greater Cincinnati Behavioral Health Services pursuant to and in compliance with terms and conditions set forth therein and effective upon execution until June 30th, 2020.
I guess we need this because of, what is it, HIPAA, or what are the different rules and regulations for sharing confidential information?
This isn't medical information, so it's not HIPAA, but it's simply saying we'll share that information on a regular basis and
Yes,
with
they'll
whom.
be transferring the booking data to the Greater Cincinnati Behavioral Health.
Yep.
Very good. Can we get a motion then to execute a memorandum of understanding between the county and the Greater Cincinnati Behavioral Health Services as referenced in item 12?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Humphrey,
Aye.
Mr. Painter,
Yes.
Mr. Hubel,
Yes. Thanks, Brian. Okay, appropriations, supplemental appropriations. Mary is here today. Morning.
Mary Reyes from the Office of Management and Budget. And this item is to increase the appropriations for the Park District for 2017. It's just under $1.5 million in total, $147,300 in salaries, $52,063 in fringes, and $1.3 million in other expenses. This won't fully appropriate their fund, but when they did when you did the original appropriation, they did not take into consideration their new levy.
Mhm.
So they're starting to get geared up towards that, and so they've got some
Catching up.
projects and things on the horizon.
It's good. No, they need those funds for a lot of the improvements they're making, so that's good to
We
to
need
see that.
approval for the appropriations, and the auditor will put them to the ledger, and then the Park District can just do their thing.
Good. Very good. All right, then, can we get a motion for the supplemental appropriations as referenced in item 13?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Painter.
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mr. Yubel.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mary. We also today have need for executive session. Yeah, I'm sorry, we got some add-ons. That's right.
More add-ons, sir.
Good. All right. Going from the top here. This is Resolution 63-17, resolving to support Governor John Kasich's original state biennial budget request to continue funding for the ODSA Appalachian Assistant Fund line item as follows: the GRF 195455 Appalachian Assistant Fund. The amount, what was it, 16, was $5,748,749, and that seems the same amount for 2017. And they're recommending the same amount for 2018 and for 19. Can we get a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mr. Painter.
Yes.
Mr. Yubel.
Yes. Judy, was something,
I just, the significance of the fact that your resolution does not support the addition of the earmarks as referenced.
oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Further to resolve. I didn't see that.
I will include that in my motion.
Okay. You want to second that, Ben,
Second.
with the
Mr. Humphrey.
addition?
Aye.
Mr. Painter.
Yes.
Mr. Yubel.
Yes. Thanks, Judy. Okay, next addition, or next add-on was Resolution 64-17, resolving to support funding of the Appalachian Regional Commission, which we refer to as ARC, at a minimum of $146 million, the federal year of 2016 level, and as well as the federal fiscal year 2018, and further resolved to support the Ohio Valley Regional Development Commission as its ARC local development district, all of which is more fully stated and set forth therein. Can we get a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Painter.
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mr. Yubel.
Yes. Third add-on is a recommendation to adopt Resolution 65-17, resolving to support funding of the U.S. Department of Commerce Economic Development Administration at a minimum of $261 million. That's the fiscal year 2016 level in the federal fiscal 2018, and further to resolve to support the Ohio Valley Regional Development Commission as its EDA, Economic Development District, all of which is more fully stated as set forth therein. Can we get a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mr. Painter.
Yes.
Mr. Yubel.
Yes. And lastly, what's this, Mr. Raybolt, you want to handle this?
Ms. Kosika, do you want to deal with the annexation, please?
Right. The fourth add-on is the recommendation to approve the request submitted by Michael Manier, the attorney at law, for and on behalf of Rick McVoy, the designated agent for the petitioners, to withdraw the petition for annexation of 224.0034 acres from Stone Lake Township to the Village of Owensville, filed in the Office of the Board of County Commissioners on Monday, April 3rd. This particular annexation comprised 39 parcels of real property or portions thereof, and it was submitted in concert with Section 70902 of the Ohio Revised Code. And as a result, inasmuch as 8 of the original signatories have requested to have their signatures removed from the petition for annexation pursuant to and in compliance with Section 70903B2 of the Ohio Revised Code, thus rendering the number of required signatures, that being a majority of the owners of real estate in the territory proposed for annexation, inadequate.
Okay. Any discussion here? All right, well, let's entertain a motion then to withdraw the petition for annexation of 224.0034 acres from Stone Lake Township to the village of Owensville, Clermont County, in compliance with Section 709 of the Ohio Revised Code.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes. Those are the only add-ons?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And we also have need today for executive session pursuant to 121.22G3 of the Ohio Revised Code to confer with the prosecuting attorney regarding pending or imminent litigation. Can we get a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes. We will be right back. We are back from executive session, and there are no add-ons, correct, Mr. Rabel? As a result, we had the minutes prepared when we were out, and we currently have the minutes in front of us. So after reviewing them, which we have been doing here for the last few minutes, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the regular session of January 10th, 2017.
So moved.
May 10th?
May, what did I say?
January.
January, oh, wow. That's dyslexia, sorry. It's whatever, it's
May,
something.
May 10th minutes.
May
So moved.
10th. Thank you.
Second.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes, and we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes. Thank you for coming. See you next week.